If there's one animated franchise that always hits harder than a wuxi finger hold, it's Kung Fu Panda. Across 4 movies, this series has delivered not just action, heart, and surprisingly deep philosophy, but also some genuinely weird, random, and wait, how did I miss that moments. So, today, we're diving into 10 strange, mind-blowing facts about the Kung Fu Panda movies that even longtime fans often overlook. Some of these details are hidden in plain sight. Some come from production secrets. And others, let's just say this franchise is way cooler than we thought. Let's get into it, starting with a fact that takes us back to the very beginning. 1. The first movie came out in 2008. Some of you may feel ancient right now, and that's okay. It's wild to think that the entire Kung Fu Panda universe, Po, the Furious Five, Tai Lung, Master Oogway's quotes that live rent-free in our heads, all started 17 years ago. The first movie didn't just drop. It redefined DreamWorks storytelling. The movie blended traditional Kung Fu cinematography with animation that moved like choreography, setting a tone DreamWorks has honored ever since. It became an instant modern classic with its blend of comedy, martial arts, and emotional beats that could make a grown adult cry on a random Tuesday.
Honestly, sometimes I can't believe I'm actually your son.
And even from the very start, the filmmakers hid meaning in places most people never think to check. 2. Po's name is meaningful. We all love Po for being the most relatable hero ever. Hungry, chaotic, soft, but somehow the dragon warrior. But his name? It's not random. In Mandarin, Po, Abao, means precious, treasure, or a beloved one. The creators didn't choose it because it sounded cute. They chose it because Po was written as a character whose value is hidden at first glance. He is someone whose worth isn't defined by strength or skill, but by heart, which fits perfectly, because from the very beginning, Po wasn't just destined to be the dragon warrior. He was written as a character meant to be cherished. And honestly, the writers knew what they were doing, because who doesn't treasure this big fluffy icon?
Picking on my friends? Get ready to feel the thunder. Come out with crazy feet. What you gonna do about crazy feet?
Aside from deep meanings, Po's movie also made animation history. 3. This is the first DreamWorks animation film to be solely directed by a woman. When Kung Fu Panda 2 was released in 2011, it arrived with a milestone hidden behind its credits. It was directed exclusively by Jennifer Yu Nelson, making it the first DreamWorks film ever to be solely helmed by a woman. And she didn't just direct, she delivered one of the darkest, most emotionally layered animated sequels of all time. Her direction gave the sequel a sharper emotional focus. Po's backstory, Shen's tragic origin, that firework showdown, all crafted under her direction. She explored the themes of identity, memory, and loss that shaped the heart of the story, resulting in a film that many fans still consider the strongest in the franchise. Visually and narratively, Kung Fu Panda 2 stands apart, and Nelson's vision is the reason. Her achievement opened major doors for female directors in animation, proving once again that Kung Fu Panda 2 is not just a sequel, it's a milestone. But the film's uniqueness didn't end with its emotional tone. Even its opening moments broke tradition. 4. This is the only Kung Fu Panda film that doesn't show the DreamWorks Animation Presents credit. If you watched or rewatch Kung Fu Panda 2 closely, you'll notice something missing. There is no DreamWorks Animation Presents title card. It's the only movie in the franchise that skips that traditional credit entirely. Was it intentional? Was it an editing choice? Was DreamWorks just experimenting? The decision was never loudly explained, but its effect is clear. The movie enters directly into its story, as if it has no interest in ceremony. It reflects the pacing of the film itself, fast, focused, and unafraid to break structure. And speaking of skipping steps, the filmmakers literally traveled across the world to make the next film feel authentic. 5. Filmmakers actually went to a panda reserve in Chengdu, China, to learn how pandas live. To bring Panda Village to life in Kung Fu Panda 3, the filmmakers didn't rely on Google Images or guesswork. They flew to Chengdu, China, home of the world's largest panda breeding and research centers. They spent time observing real pandas. How they walk, how they eat, how they socialize, how they use their weight to move, how they roll around like fluffy bowling balls, everything. These details shaped the design of the village and the behavior of every panda we met. Poe's newfound panda family feels so real because it's literally based on real panda behavior.
Triplets!
Hi, I'm Cuckoo. I'm Ming. I'm Shui Shui. You're first.
But reality wasn't the only source of inspiration. Kung Fu Panda 3 also threw in one of the wildest DreamWorks Easter eggs ever. 6. The stones Po and his dad pass in Kung Fu Panda 3 are the same stones Shrek and Donkey pass in Shrek. During Po and Mr. Ping's travel montage to the secret panda village, they pass 2 slanted stones on a rocky path. These stones are not new, and if you've watched Shrek as many times as the internet has, you'll instantly recognize them. They are the exact same stones Shrek and Donkey walk by on their way to Princess Fiona's castle in the first Shrek movie. DreamWorks didn't hide it either. It's a straight-up animation reuse Easter egg. Basically, the Kung Fu Panda universe casually shares geography with Shrek's swamp. Multiverse confirmed? While the stones connect different films, Kung Fu Panda 3 also broke a recurring pattern that had defined every villain up to that point. 7. Kai is the first Kung Fu Panda villain without a British accent. From Tai Lung to Lord Shen, the Kung Fu Panda franchise had a pattern. Its villains spoke with sharp British accents. But Kai broke the streak. He's the first villain in the franchise without that classic dramatic British tone. Instead, he came in with full warrior energy, sounding ancient, powerful, and honestly, low-key terrifying. It shifted the tone of the film, signaling that Kai wasn't just another villain, he was a figure from a forgotten era.
Now I will destroy everything he has created!
And fun fact, Kai's theme music is actually a remix of Imagine Dragons' hit song, I'm So Sorry. Yes, the same Imagine Dragons people use for gym montages. DreamWorks said, let's make this villain walk in like a rock star. And honestly, they succeeded. Cool music aside, there's a blink and you miss it cameo that fans of Game of Thrones will appreciate. 8. There's a panda in Kung Fu Panda 3 that looks exactly like Hodor from Game of Thrones. When Po and his parents arrive at Panda Village and everybody gathers to welcome them, there is one panda who stands out. He looks suspiciously like Hodor from Game of Thrones. Massive frame, gentle expression, humble stance, and same kind, giant vibe. It's one of those background details that isn't necessary for the story, but still a hilarious character design coincidences that once you see it, you can never unsee it.
Hey, that's a panda!
But the biggest shift in the franchise happened years later, in the 4th film. 9. Kung Fu Panda 4 is the first time Po calls himself the Kung Fu Panda. Across 3 films, Po earned the title of Dragon Warrior and saved the Valley of Peace more times than anyone could count. But he never referred to himself as the Kung Fu Panda, not once. But after all the training, battles, inner peace, mastering Qi, saving China multiple times, and eating probably 4,000 dumplings, Po finally says it. For the very first time in the entire franchise, he refers to himself as the Kung Fu Panda. He finally sees what everyone else has seen all along. And speaking of long-awaited payoffs, this final weird fact ties 2 movies together with one clever line. 10. Jen's line in Kung Fu Panda 4 mirrors Mr. Ping's line from the previous film. In Kung Fu Panda 4, Jen tells the thieves, "Are you ready to do the right thing for the wrong reasons?" This directly mirrors Mr. Ping's earlier wisdom. Sometimes people do the wrong thing for the right reason. This parallel wasn't accidental. It ties Poe's 2 worlds together, the wisdom from his adoptive father and the new philosophy he learns on his journey with Jen. It's one of those subtle storytelling loops that the franchise uses to remind us that growth isn't linear, it's layered. And that brings us to the end of this 10 Weird Facts tour through the wild and wonderfully random world of Kung Fu Panda. The Kung Fu Panda franchise has layers worthy of the Dragon Scroll itself, and there's more where that came from. Check out our previous video on Finding Nemo, 2003. It's packed with crazy facts you definitely missed. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which Kung Fu Panda movie is your favorite and which fact surprised you the most. See you in the next one.